Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for the segment, we have Mary D'Onofrio, partner at Bessemer Venture Partners, to discuss the Cloud 100 benchmark report and a survey of 405 cloud companies, which show that AI is taking center stage in the private cloud market. Mary, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thanks so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
You got it. And it feels as if the tone of these two particular surveys is certainly different than it was in 2020, 2021, and even the first half of last year. Where does the cloud industry stand in 2023?
Well, we've certainly seen the impact of macro on the cloud economy more broadly. We help to put together the Cloud 100 every year alongside Forbes and Forbes and Salesforce Ventures. And for the first year ever, it's actually down in aggregate year over year, down 11%, still an astonishing $659 billion in total aggregate value, but nonetheless down year over year. That being said, I think even with recent headlines, we're seeing the IPO window potentially open up, which will create a path to liquidity and more promise for some of these cloud names that have been private for quite a while.
Right. And of course, the key theme is that AI has already taken over SaaS.
Certainly. And if you look at the Cloud 100 companies themselves, 55% have already launched a generative AI product or feature in the last 8 months alone, which is pretty remarkable. And at the time that we surveyed these companies, 70% of them had already incorporated AI or ML somehow into their products. I strongly suspect that that number gets even higher over time.
Mary, how are cloud leaders setting themselves apart? Where is the differentiation coming from the products that are available?
Well, I think tying back to your commentary on AI, a lot of these cloud leaders are using AI in order to supercharge their products and supercharge the offerings that they can present to their customers. For example, Intercom, which is also one of Bessemer's portfolio companies, recently launched Fin, which is a GPT-4 powered chatbot. Canva has Magic Design and presentations. What I'm seeing is that a lot of these cloud incumbents are using their existing distribution, data insights, vertical specific understanding, and augmenting them with AI capabilities in order to deliver a better product mode and then better product experience to their customers.
One thing that stuck out to me, and this is, I would imagine, even beyond cloud companies, that driving profitable growth was ranked as a leading objective, whereas fundraising was ranked as one of the lowest priorities for 2023. It just seems as if the private market has had a complete shift in thinking where profitability and revenue and margins really do matter this year when we've seen this valuation reset.
Certainly. And as a matter of fact, when we surveyed these companies, 23% of them project being cash flow positive or break even by the end of 2023. And 2/3 of them project being cash flow positive or break even by the end of 2024. So you're really seeing a move to profitability that's also, been led by the public peers in the public cloud landscape. But I think that over time, especially as you've seen growth rates reduce, these companies are realizing that they need to right-size their operating models in order to capitalize, extend their runway, and then eventually, hopefully, be sought after assets in the public markets.
So it sounds as if the balance sheets have really been cleaned up since we've seen this reversal over the past 18 months.
Certainly. And, if you look at the balance sheets, I think people are just trying to extend runway. And so we're seeing hundreds of millions of dollars on the balance sheets of these private companies, obviously taking advantage of the prior kind of 2020, 2021 multiples where they were able to raise large quantums, but doing their best to retain that capital on their balance sheets rather than spending to grow at all costs.
So Mary, to wrap up here, would you say that we've hit the inflection point and we're kind of back on the upswing as it relates to the private markets and the potential to go to the public markets?
I think as we've seen the IPO windows starting to reopen, obviously in the headlines right now, we have ARM, we have Klaviyo, and I think there's some anecdotally other names on the Cloud 100 list that might have filed confidentially. I think the IPO window is reopening. All eyes will be on how Klaviyo performs and how Instacart and the like perform in order to see how well many of these other companies will be received by the public markets. But that's certainly the aspiration. And we're also hoping at Bessemer that we clear some spots for some new Cloud 100 winners to make the list in the future.
All right, Mary, we appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.